Okay, I can hear
Hi.
you now. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Let me connect my AirPods
Yeah,
to.
sure. Take your time.
Okay, let's see here. I think I got it.
Yep,
Yep,
I can
I
hear
do.
you loud and clear.
Yeah.
Perfect. How's your day going?
It's going good. Now back to the gym. I'm tired around this time because I try to go early.
Hmm.
And I've been just so excited to go in there and do my thing. And then after that, I'm like, oh, what did I do? I overdid it, but it feels so good. It feels so good to be back.
So your gyms are open now? Like when did they go open?
It's Crunch and CF Fitness. They were open on Monday.
Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of people I'm like seeing are like finally getting back to the gym because I think they're just like not everywhere is open, but they're like slowly, moving forward with that.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
how are things there? Like when you go to the gym, everybody has masks on, or like how's?
At the beginning, it was really, obviously scary because
Mhm.
everyone doesn't know what to expect. But actually, the gym was really good about it. They were taking temperatures and they were giving us a bottle, and we have to have our own towel.
Mhm.
We can't take any backpacks or anything like that, but you constantly have to be cleaning your area before and after you
Yeah.
use
Yeah.
the machine.
Really, they should have been doing that even before Corona, because the gym, everyone's sweating,
Right?
it's crazy. So
I just don't get it.
yeah. How many people are in there usually, like when you go in?
um, it's normally like 50% of normally what would they have because
Mhm.
I kept switching gyms just because Crunches always gets really packed. So whenever it is full, I go to the other one. But this
Mhm.
time around, they kept it, 50% capacity. So it was
Okay.
really nice.
Yeah. I
So
think it's limited like everywhere because of,
yeah,
the whole social distancing thing. So they can't
right.
allow. Where are you located at, by the way?
Orlando, Lake Nona.
Or Orlando, you said?
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Orlando,
Lake
Florida?
Nona area. Yes, Florida. Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, my wife is from the Tampa area.
Oh,
So
nice. I love
yes,
Tampa.
yeah. She actually loved Orlando. They lived there for a while, and she said that was one of her favorite places to
Yeah.
live. So it's
Yeah. Well,
awesome.
I'm originally from California, San Diego,
Okay,
California.
okay,
So that's my hometown.
okay.
And I moved out here like 6 years ago. So I've been,
I got you.
no,
Are you?
I got used to it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, California and Florida kind of have the same vibe. Like it's yeah, you would say,
Hmm.
or no, you don't think so? No,
No, no, no. California to me is completely different. It's more, I think people are friendlier in California than they are
you
here in
think
the East
so?
Coast. Oh, yeah,
Okay,
definitely. Because
okay.
I remember moving out here and I would smile at everybody and they would look at me like, what the heck's wrong with that girl? She's always happy.
That's so funny that you say that because like Florida is in the South, so I would have thought it would have been like it would have been like similar in that way, but I guess it just depends, it's
It
not.
depends on the area too. Like,
Yeah,
maybe that's how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah, yeah.
But in California, though, everybody smiles, everybody talks to you.
Right.
Well, the area that I lived, it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Were
But I
you
think
close?
more seating. Go ahead.
Oh, I
Sorry.
was gonna say, were you close to the water in California?
Uh, Super close.
Yeah,
Actually, I grew up close to the water. My high school was like a couple blocks away from the
mhm.
water. So yeah, I
See,
mean, you could drive 15, 20 minutes just to get to the water.
that's awesome. I love the ocean. Like that's part of like why we go to. I mean, obviously my in-laws are there and all that, but I love
Hmm.
like just being able to go to the ocean and the beach because I live in
Me
Nashville,
too.
Tennessee, and we're landlocked, so there's nothing here. So
Yeah, I've never been there, but that's what
yeah,
I heard. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a cool place to visit. Some people love it. I can take it or leave it. But that's kind of where
yeah.
I am right now. So I see. Originally, I thought you were from El Salvador, but is that just like your heritage?
No, I was born in El Salvador. Yes,
Oh, so
I
you
was.
were born there.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was born there, and then I moved when I was 12,
I
and I
see.
lived in California since then.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool, cool, very cool, very cool.
many many moons ago.
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
Do you go back there at all?
To El Salvador, I went
Mhm.
back in 2010. In 2010,
Okay.
yeah.
How was it?
And
Just that
there is
rough?
some. It's rough in some areas, but don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. There's a lot of beautiful areas. It's
Sure.
very Americanized now, so it's
Hmm.
dollars now. It's no longer colones. That's what we used to call it. Now it's dollars. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a lot more expensive for people that really don't make it, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's from. I mean, obviously, I've never been there, but from what I like, kind of know or heard of El Salvador, it's very like known for its like I guess isn't there like a lot of gang violence there or like used to be?
It used to be.
Used to
It
be,
used
yeah.
to be for a while. Now we have a new president. I look at me talking about we.
No, yeah.
No, El Salvador
You're
has
such a
a new
politician.
president. I got into it. I don't know why. I started getting into it, and now I'm
That's
like researching and reading. It's just crazy.
that's
But
hilarious.
the new president has done a lot of changes, and I'm
Hmm.
so happy that he's there. There's a lot of beautiful hotels now,
Hmm.
a lot of surfing going on. Even back when I went back in 2010, there
Yeah.
was a lot of Australian people from around the world just wanted
Oh,
to surf
awesome.
and yeah, and hang
Yeah.
out. When I went back, it wasn't as bad anymore. Now it's cleaned up even more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
good.
yeah.
That's really good. How have you kind of been dealing with this whole Corona thing, being in quarantine and
Uh,
all
it's
that?
it's been really hard. Like at the beginning, I was like, okay, good, I need a break.
Hmm.
I started working from home, and I was fine. But then after like a month, I was like, oh, I better keep myself in a positive
Hmm.
energy. Just keep myself busy. So I ended up enrolling in a class, and I started taking a class. Then I was like, what do I do? What else do I do? So then I'm planning to expand Jazzy J Fit brand.
Okay.
So
Awesome.
I'm working on that. It's coming soon. I'm still in the process of doing that, and
Okay.
it's going to be called Shape by Jazzy J Fit.
Okay. Well, like, so when you say expand, and I mean, I know it's still in the works, but what do you mean by expand? Like, in what sense?
Before I was more like a competitor and more like a model. I started
Hmm.
modeling for a while because I wanted a break from competition. And then
Hmm.
last year I went back to my competing again. But
Yeah.
I was doing figure and I went back to bikini
Oh, you
last
were
year.
doing
And,
figure.
and
Interesting.
yeah, and I did bikini the first time back in 2016. And then I said, I like figure because it's
Hmm.
just everything is symmetry and it looks
Yeah.
good. But then it started changing so much and they were requiring so much that it was hard for me to do all of that, and
Yeah.
be in that category. So I said, why not try bikini again? And so I have a great coach. He was amazing. He trained me. I think I prepped for 17 weeks for my
Hmm.
the show last year in Daytona Beach, and that one went super well. I was like very happy with it. It was a very competitive show.
So the prep went well, or your placings went well?
Both. The
Both. Okay.
prep was absolutely different than the other ones. Even though bikini is less food, the way my coach incorporated everything, I was just excited and didn't feel as tired as I did before.
Hmm.
Because I mean, vitamins, probiotics, take this, take that, and the fish oil and the magnesium, all that stuff comes to
Yeah.
play,
Yeah.
and it does help a lot. It
Yeah.
really does.
Interesting. So where did you place?
I placed first place on one and then second place on Masters. I placed first in Open, which was weird because, like why Masters second and then Open first?
You're
You
old
know,
enough to
so
do masters? I don't believe it. I don't
yes,
believe
yes, yes.
it.
so so then my coach and I decided to do nationals in
Mm.
Miami. And so that was like shocking. I like when I was checking in, I just saw that stage and I froze because
Mhm.
that was part of my dreams. I wanted to be on a national stage to get my pro card.
Right.
And it intimidated me. I'm not gonna lie. That stage looked so good, like it does
Mhm.
when you're watching the competitions online or TV or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I said, I can't let it get to me because then I won't perform as well. You know, posing is like the major thing.
Right.
There was a lot of girls. I was like H category. Can you imagine from
Oh
A
wow.
to H?
So what are the
And
categories like based upon? Like height or
height,
height?
yeah. And I'm super tall, so I had to wait until the very end.
What's your
And
height?
5'9".
Okay, so that's my height. But yeah, for a woman, that's very tall. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, it has its things, but I'm not gonna lie, that show was really hard. There was so many beautiful girls like there. How did they like judge? I would hate to be a judge because everyone looks amazing.
It's tough. It's tough. That's a part of like what gets real hard. Like once you get to those like higher end levels, like everybody is so good that it's,
Mm-hmm.
in any division, and it's like you're picking at straws. It's like what's the difference between first, second, third, or fifth, sixth, seventh? It's like there's not that much of a difference between them. So you have to, as a
Yeah,
judge, just try to figure it out. So
yeah. And not to mention the tension backstage,
yeah,
just like everybody wants to win,
right.
but I always tell people sometimes it helps to talk to other competitors.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going through the same thing. We're all
Right.
starving. We're all have worked really hard. There's
Yeah.
nothing that you can do from here to the stage.
Yeah.
We're bringing what we're bringing, and that's it.
Right. It's different because it's kind of like any other sport where, during the competition, the work gets done. In like fitness, the work is done pre-competition. So it's like once you're at the competition, like you've done all the work that you could do
Right.
outside of
Mm-hmm.
posing, of course. There's some
Yeah.
posing aspects to it, but that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. That's what I tell everybody. Like, that's the best time to network and like meet people. Like,
right.
because you want to be surrounded by people that are interested in the same things that you are, because you're going through different situations. One can help you in a situation that you maybe I'm going through, or,
Right.
vice versa and stuff like that. So I try to always make friends and like get to know people.
Yeah. I think you've got a good viewpoint on that, because some people get very very like stingy mentality, I guess you could say, or like maybe they feel like if they help someone else, or they try, they have a hard time understanding networking. So like they feel like, oh well, if I'm gonna give anything to this person, then that's taking away from me. Well, in
Yes.
reality, it's like that's not how it works. Like everybody gets lifted up. That's how you see like people become successful.
Right. And the thing is, in the national stage is a very different atmosphere. There's a lot more tension per se backstage. Obviously because everyone's been waiting and there's so many competitors, and
Right.
I get it. Since that was my first nationals ever, I didn't know what to expect. So I was
Right.
backstage basically all day.
Yeah.
And I'm asking my coach, what do I eat? What do I get? What do I eat? Because I was so hungry. But overall, the experience to me was amazing. They did third call outs in my category, not my category, the letter H category.
Right.
So you can imagine how many girls, they wouldn't even fit on the stage.
Yeah.
So I made it to third call out.
Yeah.
That's what I did. And so I was, I said, I went there just to have the experience and to like meet other people,
Right.
and just to have that under my belt. It was a great feeling.
Right. I mean, I would say that Bikini's probably got, overall, every competition probably has the most competitors by far. I mean, there's a lot of girls in Bikini, and it's hard to, like maneuver yourself to a first call out. It takes time, it's tough.
Right.
So I would never like think, that was a negative. It's a positive to get third call out. I mean, in a big show like that. So
I mean, it was my first one, and it's like I kind of had given up on the whole competition thing like a year and a half ago, just because I hurt my back. And then I ended up going to the doctor. And when
Mhm.
I found out, they did some tests and they found like a little tumor in
Oh
between
no.
my spine and my nerve.
Oh no.
It's not cancerous or anything like
Oh,
that, but
that's good.
that kind of brought me down a little bit. And so I said, no, I really love, but I'm not gonna lie, it brought me down. I was crying. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do what I love to do. You know what I mean? Like, I have to stop? And then my doctor said, no, you don't have to stop. Actually, the way you've been eating healthy all these years and
Hmm.
exercising, it's kept that tumor from not growing.
Mm.
So I just have to keep it monitored to a point where, if this starts affecting me, obviously I have to have surgery, but I'm
Right.
avoiding that. Like no one wants to have surgery, on their
Right.
back or their spine.
Unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then I just thought, well, if it starts bothering me, then I'll stop. But then your mind has a power to just, if you want to do something, it makes you do it.
Yeah.
Like you make your body work.
Right.
So obviously I'm careful when I work out and I have to stop myself whenever I get too excited and I start doing, because I used to squat so much before, so much weight. And now I try to do different things just
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah. So
And so
you do like other like types of exercises to compensate for
yes, yes, I
squats?
do. I do that. I do the lunges. I have to be very careful as well because I used to squat so heavy. My knees are kind of sensitive, and I
Mm.
think it happens to all of us after a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, like if you put it into perspective, I mean, like sports are great, but the human
mhm,
body over time breaks down in any sport, not just bodybuilding. But I mean, you look at runners, cyclists, I mean, combat sport athletes. I mean, all over time, you're just gonna have some, things that are
mhm.
wearing down. It's just part of the game,
Yeah. And so when I started, because my first competition ever was bikini,
Hmm.
and I remember I was just like, I'm gonna start doing this because I remember back in Marietta, because we lived in Marietta, California. I had a trainer, and he had me doing different sets, power sets, and then I just fell in love with working
Hmm.
out. So then when we moved to Orlando, I was like, I got to keep going. I love this.
Hmm.
So then all of a sudden, I started seeing changes in my body.
Hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, this comes with it. Oh, yeah, I'll keep doing it. So then when I started seeing more changes and more changes, but I never did it for the change. I did it because I love that adrenaline of like
Yeah.
lifting and just
Yeah.
sweating. I don't know. It's just something
Yeah, no,
about that.
no, I understand. Yeah, it's hard to get away from. That's why people say bodybuilders or like people in fitness industry, whatever you want to call it, like they never really retire. They just take breaks. Like they take a
Hmm.
break, then they'll come
Yeah.
back because it's very addicting,
Yes.
so in a
Yes.
positive way. So, um,
I
so
agree.
so you were you did figure, and at some point you realized that like okay, you don't want to do figure anymore. What was the reason for that?
Well, because I was involved in the modeling industry
Mhm.
here, the fashion. I was doing runways, I was doing photo shoots, magazine,
Yeah.
I mean, everything here in Orlando. So all of a sudden, I started getting super big. That was not the problem, though. I wasn't big enough for figure,
Hmm.
big enough. So then I said, well, do I want to get bigger? Because if I do get bigger, I'm not going to be able to do these modeling gigs because
Right.
they don't work with people that big.
That big, yeah.
Yeah. So then I made the choice and I said, anyway, I can't lift heavier like that anymore because of my back situation.
Hmm. Yeah.
Then go back to bikini. And it was the best choice I could have ever made.
Yeah. Yeah. It was just getting to the point where it was just, well, I mean, if you look at the girls now and figure I mean, they're really big compared to, back
Mm-hmm.
in the day, like every division is getting now like bigger. Have you noticed that?
Yes, I noticed that now bikini looks like figure
Yeah. Back
for
then.
bikini pro, for
Hmm.
bikini pros. And I like that look. That's the look that I wanted back when I switched to figure. And now that bikini pros have it, I love that look. That's
Right.
the look that fits me, that I feel fits me best
Right. Right.
instead of
Right.
figure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I have your account pulled up. Like, I mean, you definitely look like you have a bikini build. I mean,
Hmm.
it would take significant amount of you know, work to put on, because you look like naturally really, really lean. Like,
Yeah.
are you
Hmm.
naturally small?
I am.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
I was, and then I gained. You know how it is when you go through the stages, you
Hmm.
gain weight. But I've never been. I've always been really lean, always.
Right, right. Yeah. So I mean, you said that you've kind of fell in love in working out. Like, what about your family? You know, like your parents and so forth. Were they into training? Did you like, or how did you like initially start like thinking about it?
So my mom back in the day used to
Hmm.
be involved in the gym, and she did a major transformation.
Okay.
I can still remember I was in high school and she's very young, and I remember having my friends coming over and they're like, "Your mom is hot. She's hot." And I'm like, okay, that's gross. But then after that, it just stayed in my head. And back then, I was always very skinny, super lean.
Right.
Um, and then through the years, I just wanted to be healthy. I just wanted
Yeah.
to, you know, I have a family. So now when you have kids and stuff like that, then your body changes. And then that's when you start thinking, I have to look healthy. I
Right.
want to feel healthy because obviously, like, whenever you gain weight and whenever you eat bad, your body just kind of feels like it's struggling to keep going. It's like a
Yeah.
car, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You know,
I don't like to feel that way.
yeah, you know, I kind of started feeling that way like even now. So let me put this in the like perspective. Nothing against people that carry a lot of muscle. I think that, you know, that looks great, but I feel like even though like I'm fairly muscular and most people wouldn't think, oh, why would you want to lose weight? I feel like at a certain point, it's like your body, it's hard to keep a lot of weight on you, whether it's fat or muscle. Obviously, like, you
Hmm.
know, muscle's better, but it's like eventually as you get older, you know, I'm 35 now, so it's not the same as when I was like 25. So it's like my
Hmm.
body, I feel like I need to start kind of slowly like downsizing, you know, like I'm
Hmm.
about 260 now. So I feel like a good 230, 200 would be like an ideal way for me to be as I move forward, you know, because we kind of have to think about, like you said, like health, longevity. You know, I'm married. I want to stay around, you know, a while for my wife, you know,
Right.
and so forth. So what was your weight like competition versus off, if you don't mind me asking that? I
I
mean,
don't
you
mind
know,
that. I don't.
it,
Don't get shocked, okay? When I
okay,
tell you.
I won't get
So
shot, I promise.
okay, so off like in competition, my weight was 144.
144 or
Uh,
5'9".
uh-huh. So coronavirus weight was
Coronavirus.
it was 170, and
Oh wow, that's
I
yeah.
said, that's not happening. But it wasn't like for me because I'm tall, it stays in different areas.
Right.
So I know when I'm crossing that line.
Uh-huh.
And let me tell you, I ate anything and everything. And even my coach tells me, I hate you because you lose the weight so fast. And everybody on my team, I hate you because you lose the weight so fast. But it's because whenever I want to eat bad, I'll eat bad. But then I go to the gym and work it out whenever I'm not prepping for a show,
I got you.
whenever I got goals.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to not eat as bad because I know the consequences and my stomach
Right.
can't take it that much. But this coronavirus thing, as you know, everyone was stressed out. Everyone
Sure.
was at home.
I was.
Everyone, yeah, and we were home all day long and like thinking like, what's going on? What's gonna happen? What's next? You know. And so all we did was eating. And
Yeah.
my favorite thing is hot Cheetos. And like I was
That's
just eating and eating and eating. And then I would go ride the bike.
uh-huh.
And try to burn some weight out, but it's not the same working out from
No,
home than
it's
than
not.
working at the
It's
gym.
it's not, because I was trying to tell a girl from my job, you know, it's like she's like, "Well, why don't you go run outside, or why don't you?" It's
Not
like
the same.
it's not the same unless you're just like a runner, like a person that runs like for miles and miles without stopping. It's not the same as getting on a
Hmm.
stairmaster and doing 35, 40 minutes on a stairmaster. Is just not. And it's like
No.
it's, you know, when I get on the stairmaster, it's a steady pace. I can't, you know, I'm constantly moving and burning. It's like it's just different. How did you get how can I put this? Like, how did you get by while during Corona, like with no gym and everything? Did you train at all, or you completely stopped training?
I did kind of put a setup in my backyard. It's like this really small setup with like 25 pound weights and 10 pound weights. And I also have bands. I would work out like maybe every other day, but it was still not the same. I would go out there because Florida is really hot. So I would go out there and just sweat and sweat and sweat.
Right.
But it's not the same because your heart rate is not up. It was just because it was hot. I was sweating. So it's like one day I would wake up and let's do it. And another day I was like, I don't feel like going out there. I don't want to do it. You know, and there was something that it was, I mean, I'm being honest, like half of the time I didn't feel like doing it because it was just, I didn't feel like it. It was not the same energy. It's to me, like the energy at the gym, just seeing people working and putting in work, that like inspires me. That makes me want to do it more. And I think that that's the whole reason why I like going to the gym. Because, you know, everyone contributes to that energy and everybody wants to get it done.
Right.
You know?
I think that's a good way of explaining it, because I was trying to explain it to somebody earlier, how like going to the gym was different training there because other people were there. They were fit. Looking at them being fit, you know, looking good inspires me to, you know, train harder and, you know, be better myself. So it's a totally different thing. So are you 170 now? Is that what you're saying?
No, actually, when I found out, because I know I said phase one, it happened. I know it's 7 days from now, phase two is going to happen and the gyms are going to be open. I'm like, I'm not showing up like that. So then I started riding my bike like 30 to 45 minutes, getting my heart rate up. And that's all it took, and eating clean.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like 162.
162. Okay. Yeah.
162.
Because I mean, your face looks slim. Like you know, shoulders, face. I mean, I wouldn't think you're very heavy. Yeah. There you go.
I was a little, because the first thing that gets heavy is my cheeks. So
you get chipmunk cheeks.
Yes, I do. And so my mom was like, did you do something to your face? And I'm like, why? And she's like, it just looks rounder. I'm like, oh my gosh, thanks, Mom. Now I really got to work on it. So since she told me that, I started like, no, I got to do something.
Right.
And this whole week, I've been going to the gym, which I need a day off because I haven't taken one, but I've had too many, so I don't know.
You've had all the like 2 months of off.
I know. So I've been on it. Like I've been like, obviously I'm not going to push myself to the point where I can't do it anymore, but I've been on it. So just by eating well and like going to the gym daily has made me, you know, kind of regain because muscle doesn't go away that fast. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I completely understand what you mean. So when you train for like a competition, how is your eating? Do you pull carbs out like completely all the way through or towards the end or what?
No, actually this time around was different. I still had rice because I do better with rice than I do with sweet potato.
Okay. So you keep them all the way through, like carbs all the way through your show?
Obviously not a cup, but like 1/3 of a cup. And then obviously like the last week, like a week before peak week, then we would stop the rice. And then on peak week, I will have something that will kind of fill me up.
Yeah.
But for nationals, actually, I got leaner than I did for the Daytona show, like 3 months prior to that. And for nationals, my coach took away the rice.
Okay.
And it was a very strict diet just because for a national level, you have to look a lot leaner than you do for a regular, you know, show.
So was that the leanest you've ever been at that show?
No, actually, I've been down to 6%. And this was back to figure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense. Do you ever have like any other ambition to move into figure again, or no? You're pretty much through with it.
No, I want to have my pro card for bikini.
Okay,
that's what I would like to do. Yeah. Because right now I don't have any competitions in mind, but
That's actually
because
what I was going to ask you just now. Like, what are your plans for, getting that pro card?
like I don't have anything in mind right now, but you never know because once you get that itch and you envision it, you just go for it.
Mm-hmm. So how long is your prep?
The last one, because this is a new coach for me for last year. That was my new coach, one of my friends. We did 17 weeks.
Okay.
That was a long one, but because he didn't know how my body worked.
That's pretty long. Yeah.
Yeah. And he had to get to know me, how my body reacted with certain foods and what he needed to take out. But now he has an idea what more or less I could have.
Right.
Yeah.
What some competitors do if they don't know that a show is coming is or what show they're going to do is they'll stay like at a certain level, just in striking distance, like just enough within like 4 weeks they could, hop on a stage. Like, I think that's a good idea for you. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Normally, your weight, like know what you can play with. And right now at 160, I think I'm 162, 163, easily. I don't. If I decide to do a show, I could easily just get on the bandwagon and work on it.
Right.
And I try to stay around that range because you don't want to be too much because then you're going to kill yourself doing cardio and all that stuff.
Right.
And who loves to do cardio? I know I don't.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah. And so, that's the plan. But as far as the modeling, I have a few plans coming up, and I'm going to take advantage of that while I don't have plans for a show. And normally that's what I do off season. I'll do some modeling, and then when I'm prepping for a show, it's like, don't bother me. I'm not available. Just I'm focused. You know.
So so you have kids. How many kids do you have?
That's how many?
Let's say, 4.
Yes.
You have 4 kids? Oh, look at that. See, I'm trying not to bring a race into it, but a lot of Hispanics that I know have, multiple kids. So I was like, well, it can't be 1. I know that. And I was like, 2? No, maybe more. I was like,
no, my 2 boys are the youngest ones, and they're the ones home with us. The other ones, she is 19. She's still here, but she's leaving too. She's going to leave soon. Well, she's going to start college soon. So I know that she's like has 1 more year here at home. Yeah. The oldest is not here. So it's basically the 2 little ones. And
this Corona thing is really kind of like changed everything, right? With like school and everything like that. I mean, I guess they're opening everything back up or trying to, but it's a lot of parents now, now they have their kids at home like 100% of the time just because everything going on. Was it tough for you? Like,
it was because so my boys had to check in at 8:30 in the morning through I guess it was Zoom. Yeah, it was Zoom. And they had to wear their school shirt, and basically that was like attendance.
Oh, okay.
And then the teachers will be telling them what to do, blah, blah, blah. But, you have to be there next to them because sometimes they don't know what to do or they're confused. It was a very, how do I say, it impacted them a lot just to think that they had to work from home. And as parents, I'm glad I was working from home because I could help them.
Right. Yeah, I could only imagine if you were like, you had to leave the house to work, then how would they, it's tough. It's a tough situation to be in. But it looks like you're giving your children a good like role model. I mean, you're healthy, you work hard, you seem to have a very happy and like demeanor about you. So I think you're giving them, something, good to try to emulate,
I always tell them, like, you have to be positive no matter what happens. It's really hard sometimes to really stay positive and always look for the best in life and in people.
Yeah.
But I'm always, if anybody knows me, they know like I'm super happy and I'm like always giving good vibes. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's very important the impression that you make on people more than the way you look or what you have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather people to feel like they can talk to me or or they can come to me for any advice. I don't know. I guess
Sure.
that's just the way that I am, but
Well,
there's
that's
not that many of us out there.
yeah. I mean, that's a good way to be. That's not something you just throw away. Because, like you said, not a lot of people out there that are like that. Well, I mean, you certainly made a good impression on me. So I just
Oh,
want to
thank
thank
you.
you for that.
Thank
um,
you.
but so to end the show, I just wanted to, if you want to put some plugs in, like if somebody wanted to contact you, whether it's for modeling, whether it's for like any kind of nutritional advice, how would they find you? What was the best?
Normally, yeah, they can DM me. I normally get messages from girls asking or moms
Hmm.
or, or what do you do? I'm going to start changing my whole Instagram because prior to the virus, I was working 24/7. So
Hmm.
I wasn't really active on Instagram.
Right.
Then during the virus, I was trying to be, but then I had so much going on with class and in the business. So, but I'm gonna start being more active on Instagram and posting recipes on my stories for healthy recipes. So I have a lot of plans for my Instagram, just so people can reach out to me and ask me anything
Yeah.
that I can help with. You
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's the way to do it. Oh, I was gonna mention. I forgot because we got to another topic, but you were talking about, was it hot Cheetos that you love? Is that what it
Hot
was?
Cheetos, yeah.
Okay. So
Yes.
so so I can't stop eating Takis. Like that's all I eat, and I'm like, oh, I gotta, I can't buy anymore. Like I gotta stop. So like,
No, it's funny because my youngest, he's 9, and
mhm.
he wants Takis all the time. And like, if I get a bag of hot Cheetos, he'll say, "Where's my bag? Where's my
Yeah,
bag of
yeah, yeah.
Takis?" And
Mm-mm.
I don't understand how he loves that spicy because Takis are more spicy than the hot Cheetos
Yeah, I
for
think
me.
so too. Yeah, they are, and they also have like a, I don't know how to explain it. They're spicy, but they also have like a tingy type of taste to them
Yes,
too. So like,
yes.
yeah, I love it, but I love spicy food. So that's
What's your nationality?
so. So let
You
me
don't
try
mind.
to explain this. So originally I was born in Russia, in the Soviet Union,
Oh,
back,
okay, okay.
but ethnically, and you might know this because you're from California. I'm Armenian, so there's a lot of
Okay.
Armenians
Mm,
in California. So,
yeah,
but yeah,
definitely.
but yeah,
Hmm.
love spicy food. Can't help it. Like it just is what it is.
Okay, one day I'm gonna take a picture of my hot Cheetos, and then
There
we're
you
gonna
go.
share
There you
Takis
go.
and Cheetos.
Tag me on it when you do.
Yeah, and then I'll tag you on it. Look.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well,
Yes.
hey, Jazz, thanks for getting on the show. I'll definitely let you know when it goes up, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
for having me.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.